Alright, so let's check this solution out. Back, well, to the so-called piranha solution, right? Let's see. Now I've got distilled water here, 150 milliliters. Let's see here. And we can immediately see my silver plate back out, or cement back out, I should say. Alright, so I gotta try this again. I think where I went wrong was overheating this this solution. So I've tried this once before, and I did apply heat to it. But I think where I went wrong was the base of this is elevated, so the actual solution didn't get nearly as hot as when I had this beaker setting right on my hot plate. So I'll try this again. But we're gonna take it easy on the heat, because like I said, I did it once before and it worked really well. But so we got some nice silver coming off of there from all my contacts. Nothing huge, it was just 10. But I'll let that cement out overnight, and we're going to start another batch of this stuff. So let's see, let me grab my sulphuric. We'll go round 2. So I was halfway on the heat setting there, so we're going to go quite a bit less. Oh, I got 40. That lined up, so we're at 30. Grab my nitric here. Got 4. 7, 10. Alright, now let me go get some contacts. Let me get them cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and put them in solution here. So let's try this again. Get my contacts in there, they're cooled off. Do this without getting it splashed, so I'm going to just set the first half of the contact in the water. And we got the same experiment, 10 contacts in here. There we go. We're going to go right to heat on this one. Except we're going to turn it way down. So I'm going to work my way up. So this would be off, and it is just now touching the first bit. So just enough to maybe temper that solution a little bit. All right, we'll come back here in probably half hour and check, see what's going on. So here is that cemented silver coming out of those contacts. So this has just been like, I don't know, probably a half hour since I put that solution in this distilled water. So I'll let it cement out overnight. But it's nice and clean. The copper looks, or the silver looks nice and clean, the cement. So I'm happy with that. And that is our new solution with a little bit of heat. Sitting right at 80 degrees, 82. I'm going to go ahead and just bump that heat up a little bit, ever so slightly. Alright, back at it here. So, I thought these contacts that are kind of up over here where you can see the black, I thought those were ones with silver was completely removed, but I don't think that's the case. Let's see. Let's check our temperature here. Okay, 75. So it didn't go up very much. We're going to just tweak that a little bit. Very small increments. I'm not trying to overheat that. I want to keep the sulphuric protecting the copper. Instead of dissolving the copper, we're trying to dissolve just the silver. All right. And those contacts that we just did, putting out a pretty good amount of silver here. So I'll keep these separate. So we can see roughly the yield on these 10 contacts gave us. So we still have, it's nice fluffy, it comes off of there, but we're still getting it some stuck to those contacts. So I imagine there's still a little bit of silver in solution. Typically it comes off pretty easily if everything is out. Let's see. Now I can see a little bit of silver on these contacts. I don't know if you can see that, but that's all right. When I dump all this off to clean my cement out, we'll get a good inspection on what those contacts look like, and if there's still silver on there, I'll throw them in the next batch for the copper anodes for the copper cell. All right, let's see what we got here, temperature-wise. Let's see, still 75. All right, let's bump that up a little bit. I had it halfway and that was way too much, so I'm about quarter of the way up right now. Alright, let me get masked up and gloved up here, or goggles and gloves I should say. Doing a little home renovating right now, working on the baby's nursery. Got all the holes filled up. We're sanding right now, but yeah, we got a good chunk of silver right there, so happy with that from the previous 10. All right, pull that off of there. We're slowly dissolving that silver. Let me give this a stir quick. Good mix. All right, we can still see we got some silver on here. That one right there. Good example, both of those actually. Flip those. That's the hard part. They naturally like to go on the face down like that. No, we can't have that. We're trying to get rid of that silver that you're covering up there, glass. So we'll just at least keep them resting on each other so they're not directly laying on the ground. Perfect. All right, let's put that back there. See, I don't know if you can see the, there you go. You can see the fumes coming off of there. Watch it dissolve away. I'm not going to put that there. Too close to the heat. But it'll be interesting to see how much silver we get out of those 10 contacts. I still have to melt those other ones up so I can make an anode for a copper cell. I feel like that's going to be the easiest way to do it, but with copper ones, just copper, not brass or nickel or anything like that else in there. So I've been saving the ones that are just copper, and instead of putting that through McDirty, I think what I'm going to do is I'll steal the power supply for a little while and do a separate cell just in a beaker with maybe that electrolyte from the old copper cell, just to see if we can separate that quick and go after the silver off all those contactors that way. It's when you add that zinc in there, that's when you complicate things, because it turns the copper cell into that. So, but I mean, it does what it needs to do, right? We're separating the copper and dropping all the precious metals. I'm actually really interested in going after those slimes just to see. So I know I've got about 10 ounces of gold-plated pins that I made an anode out of. That was copper, so I know I got some gold in there, and I know I got a lot of silver in there from a couple of spoons, silver-plated spoons. But yeah, and of course, we're still working on that citric acid, citric salt. Still got that going, so I just put a new solution in there. But I got to get the temperature dialed in on this, because I feel like this is going to work the best. Now, I'm still using nitric, which is still expensive, but if I could find another way. Somebody had brought up vinegar, salt, sea salt. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it just to see what happens, you know, because those are both really cheap. I actually just bought a gallon of vinegar. I think it's only 3% though, so it's not very potent, but I need to get some sea salt. But I'm honestly willing to try, I mean, even AP. So, I mean, HCl and peroxide, I mean, that would work too. But I want to try to find a cheap way to basically just kind of set some stuff and forget it, you know, collect a batch, throw it in there, go from there. But I think the only way to do that is keep trying like we are. The citric acid, you need to, this way, you need to babysit it too much. You need to keep putting a ton of citric acid, a ton of salt, and you know, I guess I need to do it with just the air bubble versus the peroxide to get a good evaluation on it. But it's basically, it doesn't seem to hold that much copper in comparison. You know, if I had that much liquid nitric and let's see here, I got 150 milliliters, so let's say nitric acid and distilled water, you know, that would easily consume that base metal. But that'd be 50 milliliters of nitric. But it's not worth it going after the silver at the expense of the nitric if we can get a cheaper way. So we'll figure it out eventually. We'll keep going at it. Let's clean this silver up here. So you guys have seen me do this a million times, so I'm probably just going to skip forward most of this. But for those that are new, I'll just give a brief explanation what I'm going to do, and it's really quite simple. I'm just going to go ahead and dump my water out. I'm going to heat up some distilled water, and I'll just give this a couple of rinses until my rinse water is clear, and then I'll start to dehydrate it on my heat plate. So let's see here. Alright, fast forwarded here. My solution looks pretty clear. Maybe a little tint of blue, not the end of the world. The SilverStoll will take care of the rest of that. If you really wanted to clean this up, let's say you didn't want to do a SilverStoll, you could do a couple boils with some hydrochloric acid and then some more distilled water, and that would clean up any copper residue left in there. But I've got a SilverStoll, so I'm just gonna keep it how it is right now, and we'll go ahead and let the cell take care of the rest of that. Alright, so here is my solution. with nitric and, let's see here, nitric and sulphuric, and we can see that the majority of the silver is definitely off of there. Let's see here. At least on the contacts we can see. So this is how it should have been last time. So we still have a nice clear solution, and the silver is pretty well dissolved off of there. So we didn't take any copper. Let's see, I think we got it up to 85, 90 degrees. So still fairly, you know, we just heated it up a little bit. Just enough to kind of expedite the process, but yeah, that works out really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and dilute this solution, and I think I'm just gonna use my rinse water that I used for the cleanup, because that's fairly clean. So some of it anyways. I got some clean water here, distilled water, and just some copper pipe in there. What I'm going to do is go ahead and pour my solution off. We can see that turning blue already, so we're getting copper in solution. It looks like there's still a little silver on here. Maybe I didn't heat it up enough. Yeah, I'd say there's definitely some silver on there. Well, we're gonna have to find that happy medium. That does, it really looks like copper when it's in there. So I guess what we'll do is let this do its thing. We'll cement the rest of the silver out, and then I'll have to run another batch, and we'll have to run some more heat. See if we can get that happy medium there. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. So, got my silver dried out. It always looks like more in when it's wet, right? It holds a bunch of water and it looks all fluffy and huge. It's all about the angle, right? Anyways, let's get a weight on what we got off of these contacts. Let's see, I gotta zero this out. There we go, 0. let's see, I got a couple little spots there that are dried to the bottom. Alright, there we go. Not that it's going to add up to much. Alright, so we got 1.38 grams out of 10 contacts. This is all dry and ready to be melted. Not that it's a lot. Hold on. There we go, and it's in with the rest. Okay. So, what do I have to take out of that? So I heated that up, right? This one that I just measured is the batch that I overheated. Well, I can't say I overheated. In comparison to what I do. Alright, so let me give you an example here. This is what they look like. So we can still see I missed a little silver here. But that's what they look like when they're done. Dripping, or when I'm done using the same method for plate. Now this plate is a heck of a lot thinner than these contacts. So I don't know if these contacts, going this route with this solution is the best way to go about those contacts. Silver plate works great. You know, there's a couple of them that I got to do over. You know, like that one. So it's all just in time. Now, here's those contacts. I cleaned them off. I wiped them up. Well, as best I could. So here's a good one. We got all the silver off that one. There's no question that there's silver left on that. We just got the copper and then some cement, right? Cement silver on the back. So these are going to get melted with my next batch, just because there's still some silver in there. So like there, we still have silver on that. So I don't think that this is the way I want to do it. I think I'm actually leaning towards that citric and salt method. Now the next experiment I want to do is, you see there's still a bunch of silver on there, right? So the yield that I got with that 1.3 is off. There's more silver here than I realized. What's weird is it changes copper color, so it looks like it's done, but it's actually not. That one's pretty good. I think the rest of these are pretty good too. So yeah, like these ones, all the silver, there's a little button of silver there. You know, and maybe that solution can only absorb, you know, so much silver in comparison to just pure nitric acid. I'm not sure. I'd have to do a little research on that. But I don't think that's the way I want to do it. Right. Back in the nursery. So I don't think that is the way I want to do it. It doesn't seem that it wants to work very well for the contacts. Now, silver plated spoons works excellent. Knives, as I showed you, it clears it off, I'd say within a half hour each. You let it sit in there, within a half hour, it's done. You know, that's 100 milliliters of solution. I dump that into about 500 milliliters of water, distilled water, and it all comes out. I did 25 utensils and I got 13 grams that way. Now, looking back at it, there are a couple of spoons that still have some white on it, which I thought was nickel, but I don't think it's nickel. So I'm back to thinking it's silver, because it did the same thing where it turns that copper color and then it looks like you got everything off of there, and then sure enough, you dump it in some distilled water and bright white again. So that's I know there's not nickel on those contacts, so it's got to be silver. That's the only other white metal, right? At least that would be on that hardware and on those contacts. But so I might not give up on that. I might try heating it up. So, but even when we heated it up too much, like that last batch I just did, right, that I had cemented out, I heated that up hot enough to absorb copper, and we still have silver left on there, and not cemented silver out that it dissolved it and then cemented the silver back out, but actually still some contact left where it didn't. It just bypassed that silver and went to the copper. Which that whole solution was, the idea of that solution was to avoid dissolving copper. Otherwise I'd just use distilled water and nitric and have it all done. So I can't say that that is the right method for contacts. Like I said, I do like it for the flatware. But all right, on to the next experiment. I don't know if I'm going to try that anymore. Because if I go any hotter than I was, I'm just, I'm kind of back to square one. I'm dissolving the copper, and that's what I'm not trying to do. I'm either trying to dissolve just the base metals or just the silver. And with the amount of silver, the thickness on there, it's not doing exactly what I want it to do. But yeah. Any other suggestions? Ooh, somebody made a suggestion about vinegar sea salt. I'm gonna give that a shot. I'll do a batch on that. I actually just got a gallon of vinegar. I think it's only 3% though, so it's not super strong, but it should be strong enough for what we're trying to do. It just might take a little longer, but I think that. But we'll figure that out. I might take a break from the experiments, and I got some gold I got to dissolve. I might wait on the gold. I'm trying to get a big batch of gold for you guys, something interesting. But I do have that bag of silver, so I might have to do that here soon. I need to add some to the collection. I got to work on my kilo, right? Got to get that kilo of cement silver. Well, I want to get a little more, so I end up with a kilo of 4/9 fine silver. That's the end goal. But yeah, and don't forget, if you want to be part of the Friday's video, please send me your stuff, pictures, videos, anything that you want, lab related, experiments you got going on. It could be pictures of stuff that you have to scrap yet. I'm interested in it all, so I'll put that out Friday. So if you get them to me by Thursday when I'm making the video, that would be excellent. And if you do send me videos or pictures, I know there's a couple of people that I have conversations with. If you're sending me stuff and you don't say that it's for the video Friday, I'm not going to put it in there, just because I don't want to step on people's feet. Like there's just something that you're showing me, or you're asking me a question or something along those lines. I don't want to take that. So if you're sending me a picture and you want it to be part of that video, just please say, hey, this is for the video, and then I can save it right away and put it in the file for the video. All right. Well, as always, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Had to throw a side note on here. So I videotaped a lot of this second part here, the last couple of days. So, and I finished it yesterday, at least the last of this experiment. I still have the cement out. I don't think we need to videotape all that, because it's going to be less than the 1.3 grams, because I know I didn't dissolve all of the silver in it this time. But I had a thought last night. I'm like, I have to put it in there. So when I do the spoons and the flatware, I imagine it's a much higher silver content. If it's not pure silver, much closer to sterling. I'm sure these contacts that I'm doing aren't pure silver, or that high of a contact, or high of a percentage of silver in the contact. So why I think it turns orange is because we dissolve all of the silver that the nitric can see, and then it is covered in base metal, copper. Sometimes it's black, I don't know if it's some other kind of metal in there. Cat's trying to jump up here. He's gonna knock my phone down. And then the nitric can't get a hold of it. So, and that's why we visually see copper colored, and we're like, oh yeah, look at it's done. But not really. So I'll do this experiment again, not with the contacts though, because I do want to show you it with the flatware, because it works much better. Now there's a couple of flatware that I do have that I noticed a very similar thing. So, you know, if it's pure silver plate, comes off nice and easy. If it's not as pure silver, it tends to leave some silver behind. And we'll do that same, the whole spoon will turn copper color or brass color, and then you dunk it in some distilled water, and poof, it's got a white layer on it again. And but that's got to be it. That's got to be it. Just doing some thinking about that last night, just about ready to fall asleep, and just didn't do it. And the light bulb clicked. Bing. I'm like, I gotta put it in the video. I gotta put it in the video. So on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.